Wow.
We're back.
Welcome
That was quick.
back.
We made it after the Super Bowl. I mean, we're actually here. We're alive.
Hey. It's over. Next.
It's over. But I have to say, ref, I have to say, bad call. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Bad call. Ball was not even in the end zone. You just touched him. Not even touched his jacket. It wouldn't have made a darn bit of difference because he wouldn't have been able to get the ball anyway. So if you had any brains, you'd know that. And if you didn't make that call, the Eagles could have won. So I think you might have been actually biased to the Chiefs. That's my opinion.
I take the fifth, man. I plead the
Hey, I
fifth.
speak the truth. I know I don't speak what you, but I speak the truth here.
It is what it is. Can't do anything about it, unfortunately. And so, yeah. I mean, listen, I was rooting for the Eagles, but it
Me
is.
too.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, listen, we're in Jersey, so it's like it's close to home, that kind of thing. But
I'm a Giants fan, to be really honest with you, but the Giants weren't playing, so I got to pick somebody.
Hey, listen, last time they did a hit was 2012. That's a minute and a half. So hopefully next year. There's always next
A
time,
lot
So
happened within a couple minutes. I kept, it's funny. I was asking Siri because I was on the way home from a Super Bowl party, and I left the party like about, I don't know, maybe like around 9:15 because I knew it was going to go long. I went to get some ice cream, some vanilla and chocolate swirl ice cream. And as I was doing that, I said, "Yes, I wonder if Siri's like got her nose to the grind." And I kept asking, "Hey Siri, what's the score of the Super Bowl?" And she knew it. She
Of
even knew how many
course.
minutes were remaining. She everything. So it's
in Super Bowl 57.
yep.
Yeah. The score was 38-34.
Thank you, Siri. Thank you. So she was tuned in. So
Thank you for joining the show.
yes, thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming on. I didn't even invite you, but thank you. I mean,
You did.
it's interesting what they program into her mind to be able to talk about. She can talk about anything, but world events she seems to know about.
No, listen,
Right?
she is AI. She is supposed to learn.
Well,
I think.
yes and no. She is AI.
Scary part.
She's got a limit to what AI she has. She has a lot less access to AI than a lot of other AI systems do.
Well,
Probably
yeah,
because
I
people
mean,
would exploit her.
again, that's what we know. That's how far as we
Well,
know.
you can
We
tell
don't know.
because when you talk to her and she said, "Well, I don't have an answer for that." So I'm like, "You don't have an
Mm.
answer for that, or you just aren't allowed to say?"
Jessica, what's the weather like right now?
Hey Siri, what's
She
the
knows
weather
that.
like right now?
I can't tell you location because of your settings. Where would you like to hear the weather for?
So because of my security, she can't tell me the settings. They can't tell me the weather. Hey Siri, what's the weather like in Fort Myers, Florida?
It's currently clear and 48 degrees. Temperatures are heading down from 45 to 40 degrees tonight.
Now she tells me the weather in my own area when she said she could. So I don't know. She's messed up. I don't know.
Wait, hold on.
Hey
Ask
Siri,
Siri. How was her?
hey Siri, what did you think
How
of
was
the
her
T-Mobile
Valentine's?
commercial yesterday?
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help with?
Hey Siri, who's going to win the Super Bowl next year?
The pregame odds favored the Eagles over the Chiefs by 1 point.
Hey Siri, what are your thoughts about COVID and our protection for the world?
I just want my human friends to be safe. Keep looking out for each other and following the guidelines for where you live.
Hey Siri, what do you think about our current economy?
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help with?
Hey Siri, what should I get my loved one for Valentine's Day?
I'm not sure I understand.
Hey Siri, what should I do for Valentine's Day?
Go out with an artichoke. They're known for their big hearts.
I'm sorry.
I got one more. Hey Siri, how many stars are on the American flag?
Here's what I found from worldatlas.com. There are 50 stars on the American flag, 1 star for every state.
Hey Siri, who has the best podcast in the world?
Okay, I found this on the web for who is the best podcast in the world. Check it out.
Hey Siri, what time do you go to sleep tonight? Hey Siri, what time do you turn into bed tonight? Hey Siri, what time do you go to sleep?
I take a little nap anytime you say goodbye.
All right, and with that, we'll say goodbye. So it's always nice as a commentary, but you never know what's going to be loaded in her microchips. It's like you just don't know. Today she'll have no answer. Tomorrow, suddenly it'll be about this. It's very entertaining, and I think the people that make the decisions on what they release to the public are very well vetted. You know, you ask her a question about something, she immediately tries to pass the buck onto the web. Like she doesn't want to take responsibility. But I will give her credit. She knew she had her ear to the nose about the entire Super Bowl. I must have asked her 5, 6 times, what's the score? What's the score? What's the score? What's the score? She kept telling me the score. I'm like, Sarah, why is there still 9 minutes? I don't know. I think there's a timeout. Well, why is there a timeout? Like, I'm not sure I know the answer to that. So it's just funny to keep having the answer. I ask a question like, so is this a good thing for me to eat today? I don't know. It depends on whether you're trying to lose weight or not. Like, it's interesting what she has to say. So tomorrow I'm supposed to go out with an artichoke because they have big hearts.
I'm sorry. I can't get up.
I'm going to use
well,
that on
listen.
my show tomorrow. She gave me a great thing. Like, so I start my pregame show. They told me to come on. They start at 7. They told me to come on at 9, so they can, grill me for a while. And then I start my own show at 10.
Cool. Well, that's
So
big, man. That
is
is
it?
big.
I'll
I
let you
think
know.
so.
WTBQ.com.
Hey, it's New York, New Jersey. It's AM FM. Is it AM FM or is it AM only? I think
AM,
right?
FM, Betty. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
there
just
you go.
waiting till they
So,
open up their FM station in New Jersey. Right now, they're simulcasting because I have to drive to New York to get on live, or we have to call in. So I've already pre-recorded the show for next week because I'm not going to dial in while I'm on vacation. I'm on vacation starting Thursday, HH. My birthday week. My birthday's the 21st, and we take off my family. We do a birthday week.
dude, whatever you're going, just take me with you. Put me in luggage or something. It's all
So
good.
today was interesting.
Cool.
So today, today is the 13th. Today is the 13th. But you know what today is?
No clue.
It's the day
I mean,
before
it's the
Valentine's
13th.
Day. It's Galentine's Day.
Oh, let's be gallant. What was the expression goes? I mean,
So it's for
gallant.
ladies to celebrate being with ladies, to knowing whether they have a good man or not on Valentine's Day, to drink and be merry and decide whether they should stay with him or break up with him. It's called Galentine's Day. It can
Okay.
either ruin or ignite your Valentine's Day. Galentine's Day. It's a real day. Today is also National Clean Out Your Computer Day.
It's good for business if you're in the tech business.
But not just that. I mean, it's just any little thing. And I was on a post today, and the guy was going on about the fact that he is going to be sick and he couldn't record it. And I was like, I really didn't care. And so I tagged him and I said, I made a few comments. And this guy tags everybody with the everyone comment. Doesn't that so annoying when somebody tags everyone in the group? I think that's so rude.
Oh,
And so I made a comment.
it's becoming trendy.
Yeah, he said that's a bad way to market. You just tag everyone. And so everybody does that. I'm like, perhaps you guys should read my article about how and when and why you should use the everyone tag. Nobody says a word. They just say, oh.
Well, it's becoming more actually. I see myself also tagged on a lot of things, and it's always. By the way, it's not just in English. I get them in all different languages, and I get
So
tagged in
I
different.
now verify what I'm going to be tagged in.
Well, there are ways you can decide who tags you and all this stuff, and you
Absolutely,
can
but if they
prevent.
tag you as an everyone and you're in the group, well, you're tagged.
Then you get out of the group.
Well, you unfollow the group. But yeah, some of those
Exactly.
people, I was like, you're going to lose people in this group.
Yeah, listen, I
And
mean,
they use it because they try to sell stuff. I said, okay, once or twice is okay, but it's getting old now. You've done this like 10 times now. You can't figure out how to market. You have to
Well,
just
they
tag
also
everyone. Is that your strategy?
well, it's easier than tagging everyone individual that you want. You
Yeah,
just
but
like a
suppose
blanket.
I
It's
don't want to be
lazy.
tagged. Suppose I don't give a darn about your whatever it is. So today also, we're going to be visiting. Actually, we'll be visiting tomorrow. We told everyone that if you want to make sure that you stay out of the doghouse tomorrow, well, you better get your loved one something sweet, or you may not be in a house. You might be on the street.
All right, so I mean,
That's Valentine's Day for tomorrow.
what if you're so sweet yourself? How?
So
Hey, here
you
I
can
am,
be sweet
honey.
yourself. So I said, either the lady or the gentleman, I said, both of you should get somebody something sweet, or the other's going to be sleeping in the doghouse.
So it's funny because we did have a show with Dr. Heim 2 weeks ago, I think, and it is about Valentine's. But uh, it's the thing is, why is it's one day that we have to show love and appreciation, all the stuff, and give the gifts? I mean, it should be every day, right?
Well, you have to realize anytime they make a day, it's to make money. We all know that, right?
Well, it's
So,
commercialized, yeah. No, but I get, but
uh,
from a perspective of feelings and relationships and whatever the case, like Father's Day, Mother's Day, that kind of thing. I mean, it's Father's Day every day, it's Mother's Day every day, but it is an
it
economy,
is and it
and
isn't. So it is in the sense that it's, not technically. We show appreciation, but it's the one day where we kind of stop. And maybe if you haven't been appreciating the holiday, maybe you'll wake up. Maybe that's what it's
that's a good
about.
that's a good answer.
Yeah,
I'll
so
take it.
tomorrow I plan on going nice and early to the my favorite chocolatier in town, and I'm gonna get a double chocolate strawberry, and I'm gonna give a review, starting a new channel, GFR.
Mhm. I'm waiting for the next move.
What does it
What's
stand for?
I, I don't know, girlfriend. I have no idea.
No, no girlfriend, no guy, no.
All right.
Genuine.
Uh-huh.
Come on, I gave you like 90% of it.
My brains are fried right now. It's the end of the day, man.
Genuine food reviews.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, are they not non-genuine ones out there?
Well, there's ones that people pay so they could say what they want to say, but I don't operate like that.
Well, let's talk. That's powerful. I mean, let's discuss that. I mean, reviews that are paid for versus reviews that are like completely genuine, like you said. Uh, yeah, and I can give you some experience of personal experience. Is that, for example, if you are on Amazon, you do need to. You can't just literally rank on Amazon overnight, and
Right.
so they have programs where you have to generate reviews, but it's not like you buy them, but you do have to sign up for these programs that they have on Amazon. And what you do from there is it creates like freebies or gifts, or sometimes people buy and you can refine some products, and they have the opportunity to actually the exchange of the free, I guess, gift, whatever they get, is to actually get, or it's not even a gift. They take the real product, they test it, and then they give the reviews for you. So that's a real actually process that you can go through if you have an Amazon store, and it gives you reviews. And it's the question now, in your definition, is it genuine or not? It is not, someone that just bought the product, and used it, and you get the product, actually pay for it, refund them. So it's really a marketing piece, but they do test it for real, and they do actually give you, and Amazon accepts that. Those are like the ones that they like, either that or like literally someone who buys the product. But typically in the beginning of your Amazon life cycle, you're not going to get that. So again, that's just on the Amazon, and I'm pretty sure
So
it's
there's three
going to be
type of
similar in
reviews.
others.
There is what we
Mhm.
call earned media, paid media, and there's another one. So earned media is when you basically earn it by your own accord, by your own good acts, karma.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Paid media is when you pay to get on a spot. Like, a lot of people get on a show. Like, oh, I got invited to be on Good Morning America. Yeah. Why is it that you're on a certain day in a certain slot? Did you pay? No, 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 no. Well, you're on the spot where they actually only accept people that pay for spots. So I don't think they actually asked you to go on. and you pay money, and then they make it like they asked you, but they didn't. You paid. And the last type of media is called owned media. Those are things you already own in your possession, like certain types of digital assets and things of that nature. But there was a guy, I should call him a clown. He kept hitting me by email. I think he's finally gone away. And he's like, "Oh, I can get you this top magazine." And I said to him, I said, if you're so busy, getting people magazines, why do you waste your time sending out so many emails? If you're so busy, saying you only have one spot left, why do you do this? I wouldn't have the time. He didn't
Well,
know
they
what
do
to
have
say.
they do have these apps and things, and that tools that you can use to blanket, not spam. And they do filter for spam as long as you've opted in somewhere. They'll be able
I
to
opted
send you this
nowhere.
auto.
I opted nowhere.
Well,
I
then that's
opted nowhere.
spam.
Yeah, I
Then
opted out. This guy called me one time. He says, "I'd like to do something nice for you." Now, beware of the Greeks bearing gifts, and I don't mind the Greeks, but he said, "I want to help you." He wanted me to write a review, and I wrote a review to help him out. It was some program, and I reviewed it. And then he says, "I want to do something for you." He put my thing to, but then I caught what he was about to do, and I said, "Whoa, wait, time out. What are you doing?" "Well, now I'm going to tag. No, you're not doing that. I never endorsed your product. I said I give a review, but I never said I endorsed your product. So I want my review taken down because now you've exploited my good nature." That's a problem.
it is.
So I
So
believe that when you create content, it's got to be genuine. And so, like with the food industry, for example, I actually gave somebody, so I use a 10-point scale. I gave somebody an 8 or a 9. And the reason I did that is the food was delicious, but they had given me these two little cheap, little tiny potatoes. They should have given me mashed potatoes like other places do.
hmm,
And so I gave it an 8 or a 9 because it didn't have the most value. I rate on value, price, I rate on taste, I rate on atmosphere, and I also rate on the service, the whole general experience.
well, right now reviews is the name of the game. Doesn't matter what business you're in. Whether I'm in the insurance space, and we have star measures, if in the insurance world and in CMS, and it is a lot of it has to do with experience, customer satisfaction, and so on and so forth. And but it's for everything. Every business, people look at the reviews. Oops, 3 stars, 4 stars, and they go to the 5 stars, 4.5 stars. They look at the reviews. If there's bad notes there, it's not good, and that's all there is. I mean, it's
But I have to tell
changed the
you,
dynamics.
when you talk about the stars, okay,
Mm.
if the company always has 5 stars, you don't always want to do business with them, and I'll tell you why. Because that means the reviews are biased. So if I write reviews and every one of my reviews is a 5 star or 10 star, I'm a liar. So you have to have some reviews that might not be so good.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised. I mean, those there are there are bad reviews that can be bought too. It's funny because if you look, I'll give you a good example on YouTube, right? Uh, they have literally, they have the thumbs up and thumbs down. People actually, promote thumbs down. There's that too. It's amazing how that plays. And there are people that get your thumbs down before even the show. Like you put a release for a show in a week, and then somebody's already thumbs down. Like you haven't even seen the show. You don't like the title. But it's weird, but
I
you're
had that
right.
happen
It's
with
like,
somebody, and I challenged them. And I said, "I am so grateful that you took the time to give feedback to my show before you even watched it. I was just curious, what made you want to give us a thumbs down? Would you mind sharing it with me?" The person
of
went
course not.
away. The person went away. I put a request into YouTube. I submitted that comment, and they removed the thumb. So I get that people are going to review, but I feel that even these people are like, "Oh, go to this app, go here, go there, and we'll show you how you can get so many likes." I'm going to tell you one thing you never want to do, folks. You never want to go to somebody's Instagram or TikTok page, and then you want to find all the followers, and you want to tag like 50, 100 people, and then wait like 2 minutes, and then untag them, and then tag them all back in. Don't do that. Now, it's going to appear like you're getting followers. Yeah. And if you think it's great, well, then you got more problems because the system's going to create some energy, but then those people are going to fall off with you in a week. So, like even with my TikTok, okay, I grow my TikTok slowly, but I average a certain amount of people that stay with me because my content is genuine. It's interesting. My videos went from a couple hundred to now being over 1,200, 3,000. And, that's that's to say something. When people like food though. They like hearing comments about food and
Classic.
yeah,
Everybody
they
likes
like
food.
that. And also I get into like the texture, the taste, the temperature, how I feel after the food, before the food. Sometimes I mimic other people that do food reviews. I said I like to go ahead and mimic such and such today. Yes, I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna mimic you. I'm going to see in a couple weeks. I'm going to see Mr. Beast. You know Mr. Beast. I'm going to give a review on his restaurant. Hopefully, a good review. Got to give a good review, obviously, but I'll find something I like and tag him. There's also a homemade Sunday bar there. So I think the idea in media is you've got to get in, but you got to be genuine. So if you go and say, "Oh my gosh, it was a great burger," like, well, I got to tell you, the burger part was good. You guys know I'm not a lot of carbs. So for me, I don't want the bread, but the burger was good. But for me, I'm just not a bread guy. So it's still a good burger, but I'm just not a carb guy. I'll rather take it as a wrap.
Right, but I mean, again, is this a place that's serving both, or if you go into a burger joint, that's all they have? I mean,
Right.
the
So
question
you're
is, do
reviewing
you
the
have to go?
food and you could say, hey, it's good. I like it. The quality is good. But would I continue to eat it? No, honestly, because I don't like to eat a lot of bread. And that adds another 600 calories to my meal.
So you tell them, give me a burger and buns off. I don't know. You
So you
you could
take
put
the
it.
one bite on camera.
Nice.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's good. That probably just cost me 150 calories. So now I'll eat just so I want to make it kind of fun like that.
John, live a little, once in a blue moon, you gotta get some
Well,
poison
yesterday
in
I was at a Super Bowl party
there.
and I did have one chocolate cannoli, very small one, and a chocolate chip cookie.
Oh, dude, you went crazy.
And then when I
knowing
came
you,
back,
knowing you.
I had a small vanilla cone at Curly's.
I don't know. Dude, you really went overboard. I mean,
That was
you
way
can't
overboard, I know.
you can't have Super Bowl nights, man. So
My
John, a question.
breakfast was the breakfast I went overboard. My breakfast, my church they do some every month, and I had eggs, scrambled eggs. I had one slapjack pancake, piece of toast with some jelly, and the monthly special this month it was a mascarpone chocolate waffle. I just had one little quarter of that waffle. That's it. A little
Wow.
mascarpone whipped cream.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any craziness yesterday, so I think I was good.
I'm probably gonna have later. I'm probably gonna make myself some grilled shrimp later when I get home. I might put just about 2 to 3 ounces of French fries in the oven.
Don't make me hungry, man. I'm trying to be good, trying to stop eating at
Well, you
night.
can still eat good. You can eat 6 fried shrimp and it's still healthy for you.
Some people will disagree. They claim it's high cholesterol, and so I don't know.
Well, I buy the good shrimp.
There's always a debate.
I don't buy the ones that are 99 cents a bag. My shrimp was like $30, so it's not cheap shrimp.
It
And
just
they're
has
smallly
expensive
proportioned. They're
cholesterol.
not the ones that are going to be like Mondo size. They are small, medium shrimp.
All right, I like that.
So 6 shrimp. Okay, 6 shrimp is 138 calories.
That's not bad, actually.
No, I know it's not.
That's
And the
yeah.
French
I
fries
mean,
is 128 for 3 ounces of
you
French fries.
grab one of small snack bags and it's over. You're already ahead of that. I mean,
And I made some homemade vegetables. I put that in the thing. I cooked that up, and basically 1 cup of that is 26 calories, and I have some steamed vegetables.
so John, we're about 25 minutes in, so people are probably wondering like, well, these guys are talking food and Super Bowl and stuff. We're gonna give them. We want to give them some business, mojo here. So I know you and I we were discussing the, I guess the ATM machine
Yes, we
as a
are.
concept.
Yes,
So
yes.
like give us some nuggets on ATM historic and just so you know, I mean, I've dabbled with that too in my previous life, in one of the previous
Really?
life.
I didn't know that. How about that?
I did. I did. I was actually kind of distributing some of those
You
things
want to
around.
check out my article at believemeachieve.com, John's weekly article. So September 2nd, 1969, ladies and gentlemen, was the unveiling of the first ATM machine in the public debut at the Chemical Bank in Rockville Center, New York.
Damn, that has to be a nice moment where people like got a line. Nobody wants to go inside. They're just kind of like, this machine is gonna give me money now.
But I
Yeah.
have to tell you something. It's not the first ATM that was installed ever.
When was the
The
first one?
world's first ATM was installed outside a branch of Barclays in Enfield, North London on June 27th, 1967. People didn't have to deal with tellers anymore. When the bank closed, they closed. Now, here's an interesting quinky dink. You know how we always hear the thing, the city never sleeps?
A lot of
That
cities
didn't
never
come.
sleep.
What's that?
I said a lot of cities don't sleep.
Well, that didn't come from New York. Like we always say, New York never sleeps. They stole it. Okay? They stole it from Citibank. Here's what
Oh yeah,
happened. The
that's right.
very first blizzard happened, and the banks were closed for 2, 3, and 4 days. No one could get to the banks to get their money. They were closed. They could get to their ATMs. They'd get their money out. And so right after that, they started to see the payoff. And they rolled out the campaign. Citibank, we never sleep.
Hmm.
But the interesting thing about, if I said to you, who invented the ATM? I can't give you a solid answer because you see, the ATM actually started with a lot of different people. They had one gentleman, John Shepherdson, Shepherd Baron, who was born in India to Scottish parents, and he was installing one of them at the Westminster Bank. And Shepherd became very involved when it came to things like taking the microfiche and changing that around onto what they call radioactive paper. They later, do you know there was actually a player? Do you know what player I mean? There was a player that was responsible for helping to develop the ATM. Do you know who that was?
No clue.
If I had to ask the audience, what baseball player helped develop the ATM?
Baseball.
And you know who that was? Don Wetzel.
Dude, if you asked me that question and put it in relationship to baseball, I would never know it add up, man.
My question, published the article. There was a man, and what sport did he play? I didn't ask for his name. I just asked what sport. Not many people got baseball. So it's interesting to learn that our very first ATM was very primitive. It could not do more than just dole out 20s. I mean, that wasn't too bad, but if you wanted more than something that was a $20 increment of payment, you couldn't get it. Now we have ATMs that can handle all sorts of money. Now we only go up to hundreds. They stop. They don't do thousands anymore, unfortunately. But the machines can go 5, 10, singles, 20, the real good ones now. The machines not only don't use microfiche or that radioactive paper, they use plastic. And because of Mr. Don Wetzel, okay, they actually came up with the system of using cards like we do today. Some ATMs are using biometrics and things of that nature. They haven't caught on 100%. They're more the ATMs you kind of walk up and kind of like you walk into instead of just the little windows. But who would ever guess 50 or 60 years ago, you'd be walking up to a hole in the wall and it would be giving you money?
It's a lot of things. Well, I've said that you and I will be talking right now from a distance. It's amazing, right? That's the part about technology and progress. I mean, people are creative, and but you believe it or not, if you look at the 50s, the 60s, the cartoons that we had and things, there was some glimpses of the future with ideas that are very similar to ATM and wireless stuff and earpieces and all that, and it was just basically sci-fi then, and now it's real. I mean,
Well, Wi-Fi, not to get off topic, Wi-Fi was around many, 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 many years ago, but it got stifled. First, similar to the way the big oil giants decide to squash the battery, but they can't do that too much anymore. They kept buying out the battery companies so we wouldn't have an electric car. But I don't think they can do that too much anymore.
listen, the rate
I
the
think we're
world
going to see the
grows.
electric car. It's going to come more and more. They're working on an affordable electric car that's supposed to be under 20 grand now. So trying. But
I
my point about the ATM is that when you use technology, whether it's a phone, whether it's an ATM or a microwave, like we talked about, do you really sit back and give thanks for all the hours? If you guys remember from my last time we talked, what was that? What was that piece that actually made the microwave become a reality? Who remembers? What was the one thing that made the microwave become a reality from the last show? There was one piece of food that made the microwave the star of what it is today.
something we use tomorrow.
Something we use every day. It was a piece of candy in the engineer's pocket. And when the radar beams hit it, it melted it.
Well,
And that
I thought I thought it was chocolate. That's why I said
it
tomorrow.
was chocolate. It was a chocolate. Yes, it was a chocolate bar. Yes, it was a chocolate bar.
All right.
And when you think about this and you think about all these things, I mean, I know the first time I ever learned how to temper chocolate was in the microwave. Then I learned how to temper it on the stove. And it's amazing how something that we can't see can have an impact on our lives. Well, let's think about sound.
Mhm.
We don't see sound, but it affects us every single day.
We're surrounded.
So an ATM machine never was able to give anything more than just bills. Now, some of the more advanced ones, which you only see in a couple banks, can even handle change processing.
And they take bills. Yeah, you can.
They
I mean,
take bills and they
envelopes. Yeah.
take deposits and they take deposit. They take
Yeah.
envelope list deposits.
Well. So, John, I want to just to since we're talking about ATMs and the advances of them, I want to just talk to once we finish from the I guess the benefits. Let's talk about some of the risks that come with them, if you don't mind. I mean,
Absolutely. So this is
because
one of the things I put on the bottom of my article, and the lady says, "Oh, thank you so much for commenting." I said it's a risk, but it's something I want to be aware of. So there's a security risk, right? So whenever you go to use an ATM, first thing I tell people to do is know your surroundings. Okay.
scope it out.
Don't use an ATM that's under a bench, in a corner, around the back, under a tree with no light. Don't use that ATM. Use an ATM that has a door that you need to use a card to get in that's locked. Okay. Use an ATM that's in a well lighted area. Okay. If you notice something wrong with the ATM, or you notice somebody maybe lurking around the ATM, or somebody parked in a car with no lights on for a very long time, might be a good idea to leave that parking lot and go to another bank. But what you do if that person follows you, like, I'm going to go to another bank, and suddenly, well, guess I'm going to follow you. You should immediately pull in to a public area, perhaps police station, gas station, stores, someplace where there's a big scene of people, and let the people know that you're being followed. Call the cops while you're driving and let them know that you're being followed. And is there some way? I know this happened to me many years ago. I was driving somewhere. It's actually my hometown. At that time was Wayne. And I was somewhere. And the person was annoyed that I didn't like take off. As soon as it went green, like I didn't like push it to 100 miles an hour. I like just, pulled out slowly. I didn't like, "Ew," I didn't do that. So he decides he's going to tail me for a while. All right. So I decide to turn up a street, come down a street, up a street. I turned up and down 3 or 4 streets. He's following me. So now I know he's following me. Yeah, Wayne Police. Hi. My name is such and such. Listen, my license plate is such and such. And there's a gentleman that's been following me for about 4 miles now since the last traffic light. I was there and I didn't take off at 100 miles an hour. So he's now like kind of harassing me. Is there any possible way you might be able to send a cop car? I mean, right now we're on Nellis, and I was hoping you might be able maybe to cut him off at the pass. And the guy says, "Oh yeah, no problem." He says, "Why don't you just pull through our parking lot?" Oh, that's a great idea. Pull through our parking lot and we'll have an officer right there to catch him. So I went around the building, went around the back, came back in. As soon as I came back around, I came out, but he didn't. They stopped him. And I said,
Oh, they
"Can we
did.
help you? Can we help you?" He says, "Oh no, I'm lost. Are you trailing this person?" No, I'm not trailing him. Okay. Can I get your license and registration? And
Hey,
this is something people don't realize they have more power than they think. Okay.
people are afraid of conflict. They're afraid
Yeah.
of
And
just
and and
being.
when you've got somebody, I had somebody the other night and I wasn't sure what they were going to do. So I got into a secure facility within a couple of minutes. As soon as I was in the secure facility and they realized they couldn't get in that facility, well, they lost interest in trying to follow me. Now, it wasn't for anything bad. It was just the fact, again, I was at a traffic light and I just didn't plow through the light as quickly as they want me to. Or I just put my hand up. I just said, hey, like, give me a minute. Give me a minute.
John,
Yeah.
you're causing problems, man. And it's at the light. What's up with that? People are so anxious. They don't want to wait at the light. I mean, remember, gas is expensive. They got to push quickly because they're just idling. They don't
So
want to
you
idle.
keep it
Just
allows
joking.
5 seconds. Okay. I'm sorry.
I'm just joking. But, I mean, literally, I mean, come on. Some people are very just, again, I
I
don't.
don't get road rage or anything like that. I'm not upset. But what I do get upset over is if somebody cuts me off. The reason is not the fact that they cut me off, but the fact that I almost hit them. And so I get upset when it's something that's going to cause an endangerment to me or others. That's when I would get a
Everybody
tiny
does.
bit. But
Everybody
you want to
does.
talk on the cell phone and jerk yourself around, go ahead, stick it up whatever you want. But just get out of my way. Like I'm trying to get off to the exit. All right, you don't want to let me get off? Okay, no problem. I'm going to go to the next exit. I'm not happy about it, but I'm going to go to the next exit and I'm just going to get off over there.
Listen.
That stuff doesn't bother me. But I
Well,
think what's that?
okay. No, I was
No,
gonna
I
say
said
share the road.
yeah, you share the road and put the phone down. We have a slogan. It's called "Stop Texting and Driving." Okay. And the thing is this, and I did a little commercial about this where I had the cell phone. I was in town. I was by the police department and I was about to text. And all of a sudden, the police siren and then the ambulance. And I'm like, oh, and I'm in the hospital. Why couldn't I have waited? It wasn't that important. If you care about your life or loved ones, text should have waited and we'll save their life hopefully soon.
Well, thank you for bringing that up. I mean, I'm still gonna go back to the ATM for the security piece,
Oh, okay, sure,
but
no problem.
no, but that's powerful
They're open
because
24 hours. You can get the money anytime you want.
no, I'm talking about just that what you mentioned now about the texting. I mean, most of the cars today they have the ability that you can talk to, and they can dial for you.
And I
Some of them
think
even.
that's good. However, I'm going to say one thing because I have
Mm,
that technology too. Don't become so wrapped into that call. So, some people want to drive, they're lonely, they want to go on a long drive, that's fine. But be alert on the road. Okay. And if you got to turn off, a lot of times I'll tell you, hey, look, I'm in an area I'm not familiar with. Can we catch up on this conversation tomorrow? It's dark here. I'm not sure. And if I make a wrong turn, I might wind up in Africa. So I'm hoping, can we just wrap this up? Would that be good? Okay, cool, man. Great. Thanks. Because I've done that before where they're like, made a wrong turn here. And now suddenly 5 minutes became an hour and a half. I'm like, oh, and I did again. or because you don't want to get the person on the phone. Listen, I gotta go. Oh, what happened? I gotta focus on the road. Oh, really? You can't do this? And what? No, I can't because last time I did that, I wound up in China. Oh, dude.
Well, you get into that almost. I mean, we do hear the expression road hypnosis, which basically you drive in and you already do the thing over and over. But that happens if you. It happened to me. I was on the phone one time. I was distracted, and so my destination was going north, and because I'm used to going east, I literally just went literally the wrong way, and I didn't realize it until like half hour later. I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? This was the wrong road, but that's because I've been conditioned to that road,
E-
and I was so
Exactly.
distracted.
Or you're at the exit. I'm like, well, wait a minute. I think I was supposed to take the second turn. Oh, now how do I get back?
Listen, you're right, and we all make these mistakes, folks. I mean, listen, we're here, we're having this chat, but these are just some reminders for ourselves and for you. Doesn't matter what part of the world you're in. These are some tips that can help. And we talk business, we're talking reality, we talk different things. We give some information, but these are all valuable things that we all remind ourselves again, and you. And listen, safety first, right? There's no text that's worth us losing a life or taking a life or even damaging property for that matter, even if you don't hurt anybody and you just hit your car. I
You can
mean,
hurt
that's still,
yourself. You can hurt your car,
yeah, it's
and
gonna
you can
cost
cause
you.
a lot of unnecessary nonsense.
And now you get tickets and you have to go to court and blah blah
Oh, what
blah.
we typically do if we have you on the phone, we have a policy, which a lot of people don't like this policy. We have a policy. If we know you're on the phone, we get off the phone with you. So, oh, you're in the car. Okay, I need to let you go. We can't talk with you on the phone. All right,
Oh, i'm
give us
not
a
i'm
call
not
back.
driving i'm not
What?
driving
Yeah, I understand you're not driving. Call us back when you're ready to land. Okay, we wish you the best and thank you for choosing such and such. And we hang up on them, and we let them know that because of safety, we need to now terminate this call. So we will be just like Disney. We'll be rude to you if it's about safety. All the times we will be polite, but because it's about your safety, ma'am, I do need to go. You are on the road. I am terminating the call now. Goodbye, and we have drive safely. Thank you. And they're like, "What the?"
Well,
And
that's
I've
because
even had it when I called some places. I wasn't driving. I was like in the parking lot. I said, "Are you driving?" Like, no, I'm actually in the parking lot and I'm waiting. Oh, you're waiting. I'm waiting for somebody to come out. Waiting for what? I don't know. They're supposed to come out. I'm sitting in a parking lot. Oh, yeah, I'm in a parking lot. So, in fact, there are technologies now that when you're on the phone, it can literally report whether your vehicle's moving or not. And if you subscribe to that service, I can literally see if your car is moving or if you're still.
damn, dude, you're tracking people, man. What's up with that?
No, I'm not.
I'm just kidding. If I'm calling it's coming through your system. You should know that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. No,
So
but
I
but
think
your phone has that feature too. I mean, now people can tell if you're driving, not driving. You can switch it, but typically it will recognize when you're in motion.
your phone does, but the other person doesn't know that.
If someone is with you on the phone, that it tells them. I think it does give them notification that you're, I think, on drive-in mode or something.
Oh, right. Oh, driving mode if you're trying to text them and not
Yeah.
talking.
Oh, but
Texting.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Text,
Yeah, yeah.
text. Yeah.
It says that the current driver is driving. Yeah, you get that, but not on calling.
Yeah, well, quality you can hear. I mean, there's so much noise in the background. I mean, it doesn't matter how good your car is. There's always going to be some level of noise to know. I mean, you can have good earpieces, whatever. Still,
Or you get the
noise
person that's
cancel.
very despondent. Like, it sounds like you're really preoccupied. Why don't you focus on the road? Give us a call back when you get there safely. Okay. Thank you so much for calling us today. And they like, are you for real? Are you like, are you tripping? I am. Yes, yes. We need to go now. Bye bye. I had a
Yeah.
lady call me back. You keep hanging up. I said, we're going to keep hanging up on you until you get to your destination. For real? Really? I mean, you're like really going to be this way? I'm like, yeah.
Well,
So
there is a liability because if God forbid something happened, and the cops come in and they're gonna see the last call, the time in. It's on them. But if you were on the other side, then you can have a level of liability and it's just, well, they called me, they disturbed me, it's their fault, and then that can be there. So I mean, you're playing safe, and there's nothing wrong with
Right.
that.
If they call me, I didn't call them. If they call me and I don't, I mean, there's a little lesser liability if they call me. If I call them,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, again, but you don't know. You may be following up on a call. They're driving, and if you don't stop and you cut off that discussion, now it's on you, right? Again, it's the world we live in is weird, right? So there's always an angle somewhere somebody's going to try to find, and it's unfortunate, but that's
and
how it is.
it's very obtuse.
Yep. So you got to be aware, and you got to do the right thing. And by the way, doing the right thing is always a good thing. So you never go wrong with it. Um,
People like to take the shortcuts. Uh, People unfortunately want to beat the buck, right? We talked about this with the parking meters. So if you park your car in Fort Lee and pretty soon other places around New Jersey and New York soon, I venture by the end of the year next year, you're going to get a little present in the mail. If you don't return to your meter within 5 minutes of the expiration, or you don't pay for it within 5 minutes of parking, you'll get a little friendly notice telling you that you owe them for a ticket. You ignore that, you'll get a summon to court. You ignore that, you'll get a bench
warrant.
warrant, and then you'll go to jail. All
Yeah.
over a lousy little ticket.
Listen, I mean, it's townships. They gotta generate some revenue, but also they gotta
Well, we
keep
saw the thing with those cameras, right? Those cameras were a jerk. They were a real joke.
which ones?
The moving the violation cameras,
Oh yeah.
because they can't prove that they can't prove anything.
Believe it or not, technology out there. So, when I was in Dubai, they they have cameras everywhere, and they're not just cameras. They're actually retinal scanners. So they have the camera and the scanner. So you can never say it wasn't me. Trust me, you would drive. By the way, it's funny if you actually get a violation in Dubai, you get a text in few seconds from the violation. Hey, you just violated this law, blah blah blah. Here's your ticket. You have to pay it. That's it. There's no like later in the mail or whatever. So what I'm saying is that technology is advanced in a lot of parts of the
Well, then
world.
they
Maybe
must have had
when
had to have your cell phone. Somebody gave 'em your cell phone number. You gave the cell phone number.
they give it to you at the airport, as soon as you walk in, they give you a number.
Oh, so you get one when you come into the. Oh, so that's required.
Well, it's not. You don't have to use it, but everyone walks in. They give you a number, a SIM card that you can use. But certainly, if you have the SIM card, then you're trackable, right? So that's just that. But it's this kind of like in our airports here, you have a camera. They take a picture that you're in, right? That's your citizen, whatever, resident or visitor. Over there, it's the same thing, but it has an actual eye scanner and a camera. So it's your picture and your retinal. So whatever you are, you can't complain. You can say like it's my cousin, my twin, and nothing. It's you, and we know you, and you can't leave the country until you pay the dues if you did something wrong. Where it sounds extreme, but what it creates is a sense of real safety. People are very aware because you can't possibly escape
Yeah,
the
my
actual visual.
problem with that is how safe the information is.
Well, I mean, you still can appear at a court, you still can appeal it,
No,
you
no,
can
my
still have a
problem
discussion.
is who has access to that information that they've gathered on you.
Oh well, listen, you're talking
No,
where
no, but
where
I'm being honest. That's the whole issue that I have. Like
I
I belong to
Mhm.
Clear in New Jersey and New York and
Yeah,
around the
yeah, yeah.
country.
I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
Clear is very trusted. They don't and won't ever share information with the federal government.
No, so this would be specifically the Imari, I guess, government. So and their police. I don't think that shared like it's public. It's really them. As a matter of fact, when you come out of the airport and you leave the country, you know, you really can go through until you go through the scanner again, and they know and there's people waiting. If there's anything that if it goes red, you're going in for a discussion and you're probably going to pay a bill. I mean, whether you curse, I mean, they have some extreme, regulations. uh,
Really?
they sound extreme for us because we're so used to certain freedoms. They're not; those freedoms are not taken to a level, but they're just, for example, you can't say the F word in Dubai to someone and curse at them. Like here, it's free, right? Everybody's effing everybody, right? So the first conversation, there's a lot of F bombs that come out. Over there, if you did that, you go to jail and you're gonna pay a lot of money. So
What?
that's
Why? That's very interesting. Wow.
No, so because it touches on your personal, it's disrespectful, it's an insult. So to protect against that, the law is extreme. So when you compare them, you will think it's the extreme, but when you walk around, nobody's gonna be like in your face and telling you it's up, right? Here, one of the things like the guy's following you just because you didn't accelerate at the light, right? So you won't have that. There is no aggressive. If you get a ticket, like let's say you win a red light, this is true. A red light, you would not actually, if you go through the red lights and you don't stop your car, you're done. They'll actually the car gets impounded and you get a month in jail plus a fine. So
If you
so
go through a
it's
red light, what if it's yellow?
yellow is like 3 seconds and yellow. You gotta really know when you gotta time it and stop at the red light. Period. And everybody does. You can't cross. Like listen how how we change lanes, for example, and you may not do the signal thingy. Over there, if you don't, the camera catches you. You get a fine. You get a ticket. Hey, here's your thing. So they have like, but I get their rules, and I'll tell you what, they because they have an international audience or an international, I guess, uh, residents, kind of influx. So here in the states, residents, U.S. citizens, we all get together, we live happily ever after, that kind of thing. Over there, and people here adjust to the system here. Over there, people are coming from different parts of the world, and their driving habits may be different. So to just make sure it's consolidated, they have these same rules. Trust me, the first time I went, I was like, "Oh, dude, I can even rent a car because I was clearly sure that if I did, I'll probably get a violation before I leave." So because I didn't know all the rules, and so it was interesting to find out about these rules slowly but surely and learning how they apply. And when you start thinking about the logics and the rationale, you would know. For example, no one, there is no, there's zero crime. Like you can't. I mean, if you hit a car, you can't leave. You have to stop. The cops will come. And the other thing, you don't see patrols on the streets. There's no cops. I mean, forget. I mean, I see TikToks. They show you Lamborghini cops and stuff. They have those, but those are the luxury ones. They come out every now and then when they need to. But overall, you would probably see one patrol every other day in the street, if any. They have cameras. They all sit in the center, and as soon as there's an accident or something, they show up. They're just not too far, and they'll pop up and stuff. I didn't even see them with guns. That's how it is. So it's a safe environment, but the rules are very restrictive. That if you want to
It's
live
a
there and you want to
communist
enjoy,
society in one way. It's a very communist society.
I wouldn't go there, but but I think I
Well, when
think
you've
it's
got that much, remember, we have life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness and freedoms. Some of those things might take away my right as a press. As I don't think I'd want to visit there. I don't think they would want somebody to express their views.
no. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about just the practical laws or like the practical day to day life stuff. It's they have technology because we started this discussion about cameras. They just have so much technology to prevent, like, let's say, crimes. Like if my phone right here, I put it somewhere, literally it will not go anywhere because you will get, there is no way you're going to hide if you picked up that phone. There's going to be a camera of four of them that's going to scope you. You get into a cab, they got four cameras in the cab. So you can't literally, and the cabs are pretty much monitored. So if you did something wrong, it's just a matter of hours before somebody's gonna come knock on your door and say, hey, what's up, you did this.
Probably more than
So
that. Probably less than hours. Probably like minutes.
I'm saying, but that's the thing. So what it creates is that people are
It's Big
going
Brother
about their lives.
watching, though. It's very Big Brother watching.
You're talking about Big Brother. That's Big Brother and sister and family.
I don't like it because everybody knows you, not that you do anything wrong, but just your life should be your own life privately. I shouldn't be on camera for everything I do.
So that's where it's not for everyone. And what the reason we started this discussion is that you're talking about
I'm not moving
cameras
there.
and I don't mind. I mean, I don't have to worry about someone going crazy on me because they will think 3 times, 4 times, 100 times before they make one mistake. Here people get excited, they can hit you and they walk away. You're not gonna, unless there's a witness, it's over, right? Over there, so the people are more aware and therefore they are more careful. And so when you talked about cameras, and talking about like there's a the thing with the ticket and it's not you and people play games. Well, that's something that you can. So the idea is that if that technology happens to be here, then that's going to be a pickle because trust me. I mean, look at London. And that's the other thing. I think they got a lot of the technology and the concepts
I don't
from England.
think that would come to the US because we are more of a democracy. We are more of, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully
I,
some of the people, what's that?
No, I listen. I don't think. Well, obviously, they're a kingdom type, and they're different. But I don't think it's a communist level. As you would think, like maybe in old Russia or maybe you
Well,
know
what you
uh,
have to realize is when you have something that scrutinized, data's already been exploited by how many health companies, how many times has data been exploited? We can name it more than one or two hands. Do I really want to trust somebody? Would you trust Facebook with your passport or your license? I don't think so. So you think in a cold day, I'm going to trust some guy from some cheap bid that's running a camera for some state? I don't think so. Now, I trust Clear. The reason I trust Clear is I know that my data there is safe, and I know that they will never share it with anybody.
well, how do you know that? Someone can ask that question. Like, what's your guarantee? They
So
told you so.
yeah, and I've seen their documents, and they have been in business for a long time, and they've never had a breach. They've never had issues. Now, but the people that designed that were head of security, and their data never talks to the government's data ever, ever.
Well, again, so remember, again, we're looking from a lens of Americans and the freedoms and the way we operate is different. But again, you do have cameras here as well. It's just that we are more inclined to believe that it's not there, and
We
we
have
tend to push.
cameras, but not if I go walk outside my den, that somebody's gonna say, "Well, gee, oh my gosh, you held a cap open too long," or "I didn't close the bottle of the soda too long," or
No, no,
I
not to
looked
that
at the
extreme,
sun
man.
too long."
I was not, depicting that to that way. Maybe it came across the wrong way. No. So again, it's listen. I enjoyed actually my time there. It was great, and you wouldn't even worry about it. You wouldn't even think about it unless you think about it because you're aware. See, you and I, the reason I was aware about it because I'm like you. I'm looking. I'm thinking like, wow. So the first time it was like everywhere, like camera, 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 camera. Then the second time it was like nothing. I didn't even pay mind to it. It was like, it was just a standard routine. You walk there, have fun, hey, smile on camera. So that's kind of like the attitude, but that's you have to accept that concept, obviously, and know
I
what it
don't.
means to you. No, I'm not saying you do, but to your point earlier, again, the conversation started where if that system of cameras, for example, gets implemented, they're not going to come check with John or Hurricane. They're just going to do it because they're going to think there's a need for it. You know,
Right, they're
a lot
doing
of a
it
lot of
be
things, a lot of
they're
things
doing
change.
it for the reason that they wanna protect the American people. Now, I do see something like that more stringent at the airports, and I'm not against that at the
It
airports.
has been more
Yeah,
stringent since 9/11, right?
yeah,
So
but I don't wanna see that everywhere I go. I see it at train stations, I see it at, bus terminals, and I see it which is fine, but I don't want it even New York has a semi sub of that. Not a lot, but they have some of it. So, I feel that it's good because it lets the police not have as much manpower. So I think it's good, but I also think it's bad because it could be abused. I mean, look what happened with the the thing they did with the airports a few years ago. How the guy tripped the button, lady, gentleman, they tripped it with a male, female, and then suddenly it caused a problem. And then so I just feel that the security that we have right now has to have a validation. And they tell me they keep updating the procedure. So I said to the guy, "Why are we doing it this way now?" He's like, I said, "I travel every couple months." "Oh, we updated the doctrine to version 237. I said, "We're up to 202. Well, we're up to 237 now." "We are." "Oh, well, what's the difference in 237?" Just a few differences to the way we pat them." "Oh, okay. That's a big difference from 202 to 237.
John, right? If we talk about complete privacy, I don't think anyone is hiding from anything because your phones, chips, whatever there's a chip, your cards, everything is chips. Your passport
No,
has chips. Your ID has chips.
I get that, okay, and I get that there's some tracking, even like we knew with COVID, people knew. So I get there's some of that in place. I get that, but I
I
think
don't know.
it's
I didn't check that. I don't know.
what's that?
I didn't check about the vaccine yet to see if it works or not. That's a whole different
No, no,
story.
no, no. I'm saying
I,
they were telling that only 60% of the people were responding to the rules of staying home. They knew that,
oh, most of the states didn't care. I mean, so well, I
but
mean,
they knew that. And
Jersey,
they
yeah.
New Jersey knew that 60% of people were responding to the rules. So I think it's good for an extreme situation, but I don't think it's something that we should deploy for every human person.
Listen, it's an opinion, right? And I, again, I'm not for or against. All I'm telling you is that it does give you a little feel of kind of like, what the hell? I mean, I can't do anything. I'm like, somebody's watching. Um, I guess there are 9 million people that live in there, and they just got comfortable with it. So, and I guess as a tourist, you go in, and you enjoy it. That's about it. You're not there for that. You're there to have vacation. But would you accept it from to your point, a routine lifestyle?
No,
Maybe it's difficult. Would the American people subscribe to something like that? I doubt it. Although, again, after 9/11, we've accepted a lot of things, but there was a reason for it. And you can almost blanket that idea also as to why these countries are doing what they're doing, kind of like a preventative method, whatever, from crime and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, it is going to be different from country to country, because politics, I mean, the laws are different, the
I
systems are
haven't
different.
looked at the records yet for Dubai, but I bet you in a couple of years, I'm sure I'm going to read, not today, maybe tomorrow, that some of that data was exploited. I bet I'll read in Wall Street News, CNN News, celebrity travels to
But
Dubai. The reason I say this, the reason I say this is that every network is attracting to hackers. Okay, and I have never been in love with the security that they've put in because I follow NDA, non-disclosure. The cameras made, for example, in China, they're not allowed to be installed in any U.S. facility that gets federal funding or is a school or a government.
well, is that because it may be corrupted, or it's just because
No,
it's
it's
just politics?
because there's a back door into them.
Somebody can watch from a distance.
There's something called an NDA list that's published every year by
John,
Washington.
John, my friend. I mean, we had the balloon over the states for about a week, floating all
I
over the
know.
place. So if it actually made it to Nevada, I mean, it had to cross a lot of land before it got there. So I'm
They
not even
claim
gonna
that
go
they were
there.
watching it.
Well, I mean, you can watch it, but I guess we're watching, they're watching. So what's the point? Somebody's watching.
But anyway,
you
there's
know,
an NDA ban. I know we got to wrap up soon. The NDA ban was basically states that certain cameras. I was at a school the other day and I said, that's on the NDA ban. He's like, what do you mean? I said, I'll show you. And I circled it and I went to here and the light says, oh, how do we get rid of it? I said, we can get rid of it. And they went to the cheapest bidder. But a lot of people don't know that if you have Hike Vision is one of the names, they have built-in back doors and microphones in their cameras that aren't supposed to have them. And they've used this data to
I mean,
exploit
listen,
American people already.
Well, you do security and you do tech, and you know that even some TVs have the capabilities. Things
Yeah.
that if it has a lens, or even sometimes it doesn't have a lens that you see, it can have ability to actually watch you and do stuff. But again, if we think about that, we're not going to live. I mean, I can tell you that much. I mean, that gets a little
No,
too
it's not.
extreme.
It's
But
not everything. You're talking about, and I even use technology to scan things because I don't trust things, and I know what takes a communication. Well, there's a little more to it than that, but there's
I know it's true.
communication and signals, and nothing can get past that. So everything's electronic, and so if something has a communication, something has a transmitter, I'm gonna find it.
You can scramble that. Oh yeah, I mean, they have devices. Literally, you can get one from Amazon. I mean, they do have those that you can carry with you. People bring them to hotels. They can check for
Well,
cameras,
that's
for
a little
different
bit
things.
obsessive. You're probably doing something wrong if the guy's coming to put something in. But I had one of the ball players, and we were going in there to do a sweep to make sure there was nothing in any of the lights or any of the stuff, and it was fine. But sometimes you just don't know. I say in this field, if you're not trying to harm or hurt anybody, this is my philosophy. If you're not trying to harm or hurt anybody, or directly, let's say, defame anybody, no one really has any reason to watch you. You're not trying to cause any bad to anyone. Then you're going to be seen as just somebody that's just, nobody to the people that are going to be the people overseas.
I agree. I
That's how I see it.
mean, and I'm with you. I mean, that's why again, you go by your life. You're not worried about it. You do your thing. You do the right thing, and that's it. But again, you you stated about the ability or the freedom of knowing that your privacy is yours and that you want to keep that, and that's a privilege. That's something that everybody seeks and wants in life. And you're right, it doesn't apply accordingly across all nations and across all, even
Hmm.
here, like you said, we have trains, buses, airports now. I mean, all the things that are public, pretty much you are,
I
there's
get it,
some sort of
and I
yeah.
accept that there's gonna be cameras there. I get it, and I know why. It's to enforce court and things like that. But
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
this happened because of assaults and things that happen. This is why they have the rule in New York: don't assault a bus driver or mass transit. That all came because of some wacko.
It's always because of some all of this because there are a couple of people that ruin it for the rest of us, and they do bad, and then everybody else is stuck with it because now we have to take extreme measures to be ahead and preventative and preemptive and all these things, and it is crazy. Anyway, so we've talked enough. We didn't come back to we didn't come back to the ATM, but there's scams in the ATM too, so people have to be aware of those. Maybe we can tackle them on the next
Oh
show.
yeah, absolutely. Their ITS people got lots of money that came out. And my thing about that is, there was one guy online. He made out like a 3-hour movie telling people to do something with a card, and he had all these people watching the thing. He didn't tell anybody. He just made people watch it, and it was just such a stupid clip. It got people watching, and it was like, I mean, really, you wasted all this time. And my point is that there's always going to be people that are going to be trying to exploit things. I mean, that's always going to be around. Even we see this with the crypto market, things like that. But I think the bottom line is that we need to be cognizant of what's
Yes.
around us, not so much of what we hear, but what we feel and what we perceive. Our own little artificial intelligence engine, I'll call it our gut engine. And we need to be mindful of that. And when we get those hunches, those senses, usually we're probably right. Like, we should get out of here.
The question is where to.
Somewhere safe, secure, and away from there.
Well, that again, we can table this for next one, but I just, I mean, you think about it, but you have to be prepared. You have to know. You have to have a plan.
Yep, yep.
Anywhere you go to, when you got to check your exits, you got to know where to go if you have to run. And there's so many
I
things.
was I was
I
at a
mean,
play the night, and a lady was talking about the exits. And usually, we just notice there's exits on this plane, right? Front, forward, and back. Feel free to use any of them anytime during the flight if you're not happy with our service. Now, you'll notice that there is uh, a cushion to, kind of blow up. It has a little red thing. It's a life kind of preserver. Well, we call it a thing to keep you above the water. If this happens to turn into a cruise, you might need to grab one of those. So when you grab one of those, stick that red thing in your mouth. If the stringy doesn't pull, stick it in your mouth. Don't bite it. Just keep blow on it until you asphyxiate yourself and you pass out or you're underwater, whichever comes first. And please, if you do try to smoke, note there is no smoking on our plane. Okay. And if I catch you with it, not only is there no smoking, I'll take this and I'll light you up. Okay. And you won't be here to live through the smoke. But if you should want any kind of snacks, you're only getting one drink anyway. And yeah, Pops, you're only getting that little small thing. So don't try to sweet talk me to get a second one because you're not getting one.
John, is
And
this
I hope you
hell?
enjoy the rest of your flight here, whether it happens to be a cruise or it happens to be a flight. We hope that you enjoy the travel we provide today.
Which airline was this again? Hell Airline. Oh my
Hellel
goodness.
Airline. Hellel Airline.
Oh
Last
my
thing I'll
God.
leave you with is I was on a plane one time, run by airline, by air um, pilots. We're on the plane. It's a budget airline. But it was supposed to be real quick and get you in and out, like no frills, but really like business people. Get up to the airline person says, so would you like to hear the Michael Jackson safety security announcement, or would you like to hear the one from Bette Midler? Okay, you probably are a Bette Midler crowd. And they do the Bette Midler thing. But what I was trying to get at is when they got into the plane, So, we do have a low amount of staff to keep your ticket prices nice and low because we give you nice big seats. So, we're going to just be throwing the basket and the soda around, and we're just going to ask you to help yourselves. Please don't hit people in the heads, as that would not be good. And we're not covered for any injuries while people get hit passing food.
Oh man, I gotta hang out with you more and just maybe take a trip when one of those babies. See what happens if we throw each other a can of soda. Oh, dude.
It,
All
it,
right, all
it,
right.
it, it it's fun to observe these interesting things, but life is really an interesting ball because go out there and they do this. It's like, and I'll make a film like, I can't believe the lady just did that. I was at the register and she actually just did that, and people are looking like, she actually just did that. I'm gonna film that. But without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you'll come back and watch us again. We have so much great stuff brewing up for you guys here in 2023. And if you happen to be kicking around tomorrow, WTBQ every Tuesday morning from 10 a.m. to 11, actually 10:54 a.m. because we have to have time for the commercials. And you'll get to catch John on IFYL, Inspirations for Your Life, Drive Time, Talk Show, New York and New Jersey. I would love you to be one of my call-in guests.
Is there a number that you have now, or
It's going to be
if you
published
have it, we
tomorrow.
can.
Don't have it yet. We'll have it tomorrow.
We'll have next one next week. So now you know.
We'll have it next one, yes. But next show will be recorded because I'm going to be on vacation for the week. So this next show I've already recorded, and so.
Well, I mean, our show. We'll just put the number.
Oh yeah, definitely. I started taking live call-ins on my show, and I had somebody. And it was a very interesting thing to have a call-in person on the number. First, I was like, "Is this a wrong number?" First, I had one person calling, and she said to me, "She says, hi, this is Sharon." I said, "Yes." And are you calling from Medicare or Medicaid? She said, "Yes, I'm calling your part." Okay, Sharon, we're in the middle of a show right now, so I'm going to need to kind of terminate the call. All right, a show. Yeah, bye.
Oh, you could have just taken the call and have fun. I mean, hey.
I want to give my viewers value. I don't want to give them aggravation.
Yeah, it would have been comedy hour and still be good. Good for stress, man. All right. Well, listen, I guess happy Valentine's to everyone, right?
Yes, happy Valentine's Day. Make sure you get your loved one, whether that be a lady or a gentleman, something sweet to eat. And remember, it's not just about what you pay. It's about the thought that you maybe just got them one little thing of candy. Maybe you only have a $2 budget. Well, go get them a Hershey bar or whatever. Just think about them. Do something with them. And if you can't go buy a candy bar, well, go make a freaking dinner. Do something special for Valentine's Day. Or you might be out with Fido in the doghouse.
You were doing good. I tell you what, the doghouse, man. We were just keeping it, real. All right, folks. This is it it's a wrap for today. So hope. And again, you never know what you get in this show. So it starts. We make it work, and that's it. The hour is out. But again, always stay tuned. Join us. Hey, let's have fun. And again, do engage with us, guys. Listen. Do whatever. You can come on and just have fun with us, make fun with of us. It doesn't matter. Let's have a chat and talk about it. Whatever it is that we can talk about that is valid and business specific, we can get into deep dives. So don't forget about that. Happy Valentine's, John. You want to close it?
Have a good one, everyone. Good night, everyone. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.